Sometimes, the biggest mistakes come from the most modern technology. Each situation is a lesson to help us improve safety when we're out at sea. Wow TV has compiled it all in the biggest ship collisions and mistakes caught on camera. The Welland Canal witnessed an unexpected situation when two large ships were moving in opposite directions. The cause is believed to be a lack of coordination between the two crews, even though the weather was completely favorable at the time. The ferry's engine malfunctioned right as it was approaching the dock. But just minutes later, the fire department arrived on time and confirmed that all the passengers were safe. This ghost ship made a long journey from Japan to the US after the 2011 tsunami earthquake. Its appearance was considered a hazard to maritime activities in the US. For this reason, the Coast Guard sank the ship to keep it beneath the ocean.
Let's drop some lead on those. Fire!
Panama is no stranger to luxury yachts, but where there are yachts, there are also costly mistakes. So hot-tempered, this was the greeting from the Chinese Coast Guard to the Filipino sailors in the disputed waters of the South China Sea. When you're worried about an upcoming disaster, things don't stop there. Santa Cruz Harbor faced tsunami-like waves back in 2011, and now a similar event is happening. The number of boats and ships damaged is estimated to be in the hundreds. Launching large ships is a spectacular sight, but also full of risks. The sailors on the small boat were probably sweating with such a close call.
Wow.
This is a rare case where a ship made contact with overhead power lines. Although it caused a short circuit, neither the boat nor the railway traffic was seriously affected. Chinese and Japanese ships appearing in the same offshore area is quite common. The only purpose is to issue a warning and show off their power. The power of a fishing boat sometimes goes beyond what we can imagine. Apart from the bridge, there was no other serious damage. If you're a sea lover, you've probably heard of the Ever Given ship. With a width equal to 4 soccer fields and a height equal to a Manhattan building, it got stuck in a horizontal position while passing through the Suez Canal. In just 6 days, this ship caused billions of dollars in damage to the global economy. After nearly a week, with the help of high tides and powerful tugboats, the Ever Given was finally freed. The sailboats left behind in Hurricane Idalia didn't have a happy ending, as the river's current had shifted. This cargo ship broke in half due to carrying an overloaded amount of sand. Luckily, the crew reacted in time and evacuated safely. Illegal marine wildlife poaching is becoming more rampant, forcing Sea Shepherd to step up their efforts. However, this mission isn't easy due to the huge size and force disparity between the two sides. The celebration on the boats in Bilbao got a bit chaotic when two boats didn't steer the right way. Luckily, no one was injured. A fishing ship had caught too many fish and was being weighed down so much that the heavy waves were smashing into the side of the boat, and they were causing the main deck to flood, resulting in the ship being weighed down further. The ship made it over the bridge successfully. But the cargo didn't. Your boat or your legs? Fools often don't know which one is more important.
God almighty, you're gonna have to pick your big old butt up and get to it somehow. My big old butt. Come on, how did you do that? You're the only person I know in this world that could have done that.
They miscalculated the height of both the ship and the bridge. Recently, Russia has faced a series of maritime incidents, with 2 oil tankers sinking due to a major storm. A rescue operation involving 50 people, Mi-8 helicopters, and rescue boats was immediately launched. The rate of ships encountering issues during launch is higher than you'd think. One of the causes is the ineffective airbag launching method, causing the ship to capsize as soon as it hits the water. Clumsy workers overloaded the 24-foot metal containers while the ship was docked at a port in Turkey. This caused the ship to tilt and lose control. Everyone was successfully evacuated, but they'll have a mess of cargo floating on the water to deal with. The small boat you're seeing is a Mumbai Navy speedboat testing a new engine. The next twist caught everyone off guard. The day at sea couldn't have gone worse for the tourists when they were hit by a violent storm. Even the most experienced captains struggled to maintain balance. When Typhoon Gemi hit the Philippines, the raging floods caused a number of barges to get stuck under a bridge. This became one of the most practical tests for engineers.
Mooring. Speed off.
A rare incident in the Mediterranean Sea occurred when an anchored ship ran into trouble with another vessel. As a result, fuel leaked from the ship, creating a 12-mile-long oil slick that affected the surrounding environment. Thankfully, no one was injured. Buying a houseboat requires careful consideration, as its durability can't compare to that of a regular home or boat.
You're gonna get hurt, dude.
He can barely get up to the top of
The pontoon.
The owner of this $3 million houseboat must have realized that when it sank. Storms are always a haunting concern for large ships. Strong winds and raging waves reaching up to 15 meters high were all that's happening in the waters off Ireland. I thought the Sierra Guardian would share the same fate as the other ships, but it turns out it was the luckiest one in this video. Due to a technical issue with the rudder, a cargo ship caused damage to a seaside villa in Turkey. Fortunately, there were no casualties, although the repair costs were quite high. This small vessel was able to pass under the bridge, with just a few minor damages. Well, now it's stuck right here. Despite a 45-degree tilt and a draft fluctuating from 10.2 to 13.8 meters in just a few seconds, the ship held its ground. It's hard to believe it was built 10 years ago. This guy was woken up by a big fish. It's tough trying to keep an eye on everything behind you. The Arctic environment is becoming increasingly polluted, so the animals have protested ships coming here.
Пробила? Да. Пробила. Все, нет уж брата.
Terbalik. Tujuannya cepat saya juga.
When the captain dozes off and a scene from Titanic gets reenacted. Don't worry that the ship was sinking from overloading. This creative way of unloading wood is actually one of Canada's signature methods. Next up is an expedition ship testing the strength of a large iceberg in the Atlantic. Well, that was definitely a big mistake. Was this because of the captain's lack of focus?
Nutrition might come into play here.
Even world-class professional tournaments like Key West make mistakes. However, the participants are experts and capable of handling such situations.
CT Marine ran over the back of...
His gear for heading out to sea wasn't a compass, paddle, or engine. It was simply an umbrella and strong belief. Using the anchor rope to slow down makes sense. But poor monitoring and control made it less effective. The close distance between the two ships led to an unintended situation. This is the world's largest self-righting firefighting vessel. Its ability to restore balance when capsized ensures rescue operations can continue under challenging conditions.
Oh my God.
A slight touch at the ferry's bow was enough to damage the massive structure. They're trying to get the boat off the rock, but their efforts only lead to a worse outcome. Failed test. They need to reassess the quality of the lifeboat before putting it into use. Bad weather and strong currents caused Singapore's Zitha Bloom ship to lose control and run aground. Fortunately, the ship stayed afloat until two Coast Guard vessels brought it back to port. And a similar situation occurred shortly after.
Kena tres tuh, kena tres tuh. Kena tres tuh.
It was truly a nightmare for the fishermen, facing the giant head-on like this. The cause was the fishing boat's autopilot mode, but the good news is no one was seriously affected.
Push, push, push!
After running aground and being deemed unfit for sailing, the 350,000-ton iron ore carrier was scuttled off of São Luís, Brazil. The workers' faces showed exhaustion as they prepared to deal with the aftermath of the collision. With its lack of maneuverability and absence of an autopilot system, the barge poses significant risk to other vessels. In this situation, everyone was fine, but the cargo wasn't. Even if you regret it, there's no replay button. Next time, make sure to think ahead before acting.
Oh my God!
My rod! No!
No way!
Not everyone knows how to ask for the right of way politely.
Definitely does.
Help me!
Shit. That wasn't supposed to happen.
The persistent rain caused the Savannah River to rise unusually high, leading to an unexpected phenomenon. A barge got stuck at the top of the dam, perfectly balanced. The consequence of parking in the wrong spot is he'll have to wait for hours before rescue arrives. The rope was too fragile for the oversized giant.
On a perdu le navire maintenant. Ah ouais, c'est fini.
It wasn't fog or bad weather, but the ship lost control and drifted due to a missing rudder. Fortunately, the boat was moving slowly, so the impact wasn't too severe. Next up is a harbor in Levanger, Norway. The cement boat ran into trouble right after leaving the dock, damaging 15 boats and leading to millions of dollars of losses. Fools don't even know how to start things properly. He'll have to take responsibility for the mess he caused. In 2019, an incident occurred involving a ship carrying 6,000 tons of cargo from Russia as it passed under the Busan Bridge in South Korea. The bridge wasn't damaged, but the investigation revealed the captain had violated alcohol regulations. Traveling during flood season, the owners of those yachts could only watch this scene in helplessness. The sand transport ship in China couldn't avoid the bridge pillar as planned. However, preliminary analysis showed that it remained stable and suffered no damage.
Piano, piano. Vada, ferma bene, fermalo bene.
Ha toccato. Stonk si sta incagliando. Opla. Slowly, sento. Ja, snap ik ook. Oh. Wow. Wij moeten terug. Ja, nu ook weer rondrijden. Dat is niet afgekomen. Ja, maar hij zakte toch helemaal weg, dus was er weer. Ja, dat klopt, maar...
The arrival of the Pride of Calais went smoothly. The captain skillfully used the limited space to position the ship. Spending a large amount of money on a luxury yacht, but then opting for cheap transport services. This is the price of saving in the wrong place. I can't even remember how many times these clumsy captains have caused chaos at the port. The Baden yacht capsized during its first launch. The cause was determined to be an incorrect assessment of the ship's center of gravity.
Fine.
Today is not a smooth sailing day for the captain.
Oh.
But for pedestrians, they continue to cross the bridge without any obstacles. While this is a common situation when jet skiing, always make sure you wear full safety gear. Contrary to your thoughts, this ship didn't capsize. In fact, it was designed like a spoon to stand upright on the ocean. Thanks to this design, it can accurately collect data at sea.
Fantastic. A little bit rainy and stuff and windy, but it was a great trip.
This ship has been sailing for over 70 years and officially ceased operations in 2014. 7 years later, the Mexican Navy decided to sink the ship to turn it into an artificial coral reef. With a capacity of 1,000 bedrooms and a helicopter landing pad, this gigantic ship was quite noisy on its first day. While on a rescue mission, the rescue ship encountered a big challenge. Who would dare to pass through such a pod of killer whales?
Singapore colliding violently with a larger 600-foot oil and chemical tanker. The USS McCain taking on water. The last pieces of the good ship Fedra, which crashed at Europa Point on the south of Gibraltar in 2008, are not easy to get out of the water.
Det var vist ikke meningen.
A fishing ship had caught too many fish and was being weighed down so much that the heavy waves were smashing into the side of the boat. And they were causing the main deck to flood, resulting in the ship being weighed down further. The boat driver caused chaos at Wausau Dock, USA.
Oh my God.
He rammed his boat up a landing area and then fled a West Side park. Although no one was injured, This action could result in a fine of up to $5,000. Ignoring warnings from sailors on the oil tanker, the dredging vessel continued moving towards them. Both vessels remained stuck together for hours afterwards. Looks like these fishermen picked the wrong day. The incessant rain and thunder also make even the most seasoned men worry.
Wow.
The best thing to do was to move to a shelter.
Stay down. That lighting is close.
The Blessing ship, the largest wooden ship in China, burned down in flames overnight. People said this stranded vessel cost its owner more than £1 million. A 368-meter-long ship caused chaos at the Aviaport port in Turkey. 3 cranes were damaged in the incident. At sea, even a small mistake could come with a hefty price tag. A seaside restaurant with a capacity of 150 guests sank within just 2 minutes of opening. There were no people on board as it had been closed due to the storm. After this, no similar businesses were operated to ensure safety. Facing this situation, the sailors didn't feel panicked but rather calm. Surely, they've been thoroughly trained to handle unexpected incidents. Do you think spotting a humpback whale that close is lucky? I've paused it, so don't worry, folks. A storm at sea could appear much more intimidating than on land. Hopefully, all passengers were okay.
There you go.
Even with thorough preparation, unforeseen situations can arise while at sea. In such moments, maintaining calmness is crucial.
Grab this railing here. Push them up in.
At 1:30 a.m., the global media was abuzz with an incident that occurred in Baltimore in the United States. The Francis Scott Key Bridge gave way under the weight of a cargo ship. This split-second mishap caused severe damage to various industries. Hope this video has equipped you with the useful manual to confidently set sail. Be sure to follow WOW TV and leave your thoughts in the comments. For now, goodbye, and we'll be back soon with even more exciting content.